But our next speaker is very handsome. You're going to love him. He is fantastic. Mike Lipkin brings out the best in leaders and employees around the world, literally around the world. The founder and president of Environics Lipkin, a global research and motivation company, and the author of numerous best-selling books. Mike combines social values research with his personal expertise to provide organizations such as Deloitte, P&G, Pfizer, Wells Fargo, and GE with the tools to take powerful action and achieve preeminence. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to love him. Put your hands together. Give a big Calgary welcome for Mr. Mike Lipkin!
Hey, excellent. Thank you. Can I ask you all to stand up, please? Stand up. Just turn to the left. Turn to the right. Okay, take a seat. I've always wanted to boogie and shimmy in front of an audience of 5,000 people. So thanks to you, I've just realized a dream. Exactly. That's why you're here, to realize your dream. So you've just seen an example of someone living his dream, even if it was only for a few seconds, because that's what life is, right? It's one dream after another. It's a few seconds after a few seconds after a few seconds. And I want to compliment all of you for coming here today because you believe in the beauty and the power of your dreams, right? Let me just see by show of hands, how many of you have got a big dream that you want to make happen in 2018? Whoa. So just very quickly, let's get the show on the road. Tell one person, just one person, whether you know them or not, what your dream for 2018 is. Just tell one person what your dream for 2018 is. Now, quickly. Cool. All right, come back to me. Look. You're about to go on an adventure today, but this adventure needs you as a participant. The people who are on the stage are not people who can carry you anywhere. I had a mentor who said to me, no matter how strong you are, you can only carry one person on your back. But if you're someone who shares words, if you're someone who shares inspiration, you can carry an entire community with you. And so you are that person, right? Today you're going to hear from some amazing people, but today will only go as well as the person in your chair allows it to go. So you are going to be the individual who determines the success of this entire day. Why? Because everyone in this room is contributing energy to this room. Can you feel it, or is it just me? So my theme with you today, my theme is based on my new book called Dancing with Disruption. Dancing with Disruption, the 7 secrets to thriving on massive change so the best people want to partner with you. So let's look at that title. Let's first look at dancing. Who's been dancing at least once in the last year? Who's been dancing? Great. By the way, for those of you who didn't raise your hands, get a life. Seriously. Because have you noticed when you dance, you're usually happy. When you dance, you're partnering with someone. When you dance, you've got a common purpose with the other person. When you dance, you should be doing it with other people. If you're the only one on the dance floor, something isn't right. And have you noticed that when you dance, you become a source of other people's joy? So if you make one commitment today, make this commitment. Be the source of other people's joy. Turn to a person on either side of you, look them in the eyes and say, from today, I will be the source of your joy. Perfect. Because let me tell you something. Let me give you this insight. Let me give you this insight. This is the most powerful thing I can share with you. There's only 2 kinds of people in this world. those with whom you want to be with, and those with whom you have to be with. What kind of person are you? I want to ask you this question. When people know they have a meeting with you, do they get incredibly excited? Like the night before, do they have difficulty sleeping? They're so excited. And if they know they have a meeting with you on a Monday morning, do they step into your office and go, yes, the weekend's over. Monday, baby. Because think about this. I know how much is going on in everybody's life. Someone once said to me, be kind to people because they are fighting a battle you know nothing about. Everyone in this room has got multiple priorities. You've got multiple urgencies. You've got multiple crises. And yet you came here today to hear one person, not me. You came to hear Anthony Robbins, and there's a great supporting cast. And I just happen to be one of them. But let me share something with you. The people on the stage, the power of success. Anthony Robbins earned your time for the day. And that's the business that you and I are in more than any other business, and that is to earn people's time. Because if I don't earn your time, I don't stand a chance of earning anything else. So you want to be someone who gives people a very high ROT. You know what that is? Return on time. Now, let me ask you another question. How many of you have been through a year that has been filled with change? Who's been through change? Right. By the way, if you didn't raise your hand, you do not know what's going on. Now, I've got to tell you something. I watched Mayor Nenshi's address in terms of how well Calgary did in the past year, and you are on a strong recovery. And let me tell you what I know. I know that this time next year, oil will be $80 a barrel. Yeah, I can tell you it's going to be like that. Now look, some of you are going $80 a barrel. Who are you kidding? Listen, it's about 57, 58, which is much better than beginning of last year at 29, and it's heading north. But let me ask you this question. What would your mindset be if you knew without a shadow of a doubt that oil would be $80 a barrel by this time next year? What would your mindset be? Would you be happy? So act like that. You know, people often ask me, do you get nervous before a talk? Or they'll wish me good luck. And I'll say, I don't need good luck. This talk has already gone well. I'm in lag time. I've seen all of you in about 22 minutes and 3 seconds stand up and go, bravo, Lipkin, bravo. I've seen you do that. Whether you do it or not is not important. I have seen it. So I'm acting like that. Let me see by show of hands, how many of you think that Mike Lipkin is confident? Yay! Now let me tell you something. I'm scared shitless up here. I mean, there's 5,000 people in the audience. I'm on the same stage, on the same event as Anthony Robbins. Whoa! But let me tell you something else. My job is to act like I'm confident. There's a certain kind of language that comes from being confident. So I'm literally on a stage here. But let me tell you something. All of you in this room are on a stage. It's called life. Let me just see, by show of hands, how many of you have got a job? Okay. Unemployment is very low in the city. If you have a job, you play a role. And if you play a role, you are an actor. So I know that when you woke up this morning and you knew you were coming here, you were on fire with the possibilities, right? Like Tim Hortons, you're always fresh. But there are going to be some days, especially this time of the year, when you wake up the morning after the night before and the last thing you feel like doing is what you've got to do. By the way, how many of you right now have got a hangover? Hey, it's the festive season. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Yes. Now, when you show up like that, and you don't feel like being outstanding, and you don't feel like being confident, act like you're confident. So let's do a quick exercise. Just stand up for a moment. Stand up for a moment. Right? And turn to a person on either side of you and say to them in the most confident way, 2018 will be the best year of my life. Just say that to them, like you mean it. All right, take a seat, take a seat. So, disruption, because that's the title of my talk, Dancing with Disruption. Disruption means a radical change that shatters the status quo. And I'll tell you, in any given year, I will give about 120 talks like this. I'll work with 30 to 40 different organizations, and there's not a single company on this planet that isn't going through radical change that shatters the status quo. And so the way you want to handle disruption is you want to be confident even when you're nervous, because if you're confident, you make other people confident. You know, every year I predict what I call the trends that will transform the next year. So what I'm about to share with you is a public service announcement. Go to www.mikelipkin.com and check out a video, absolutely free. It's 12 minutes, and I talk about the 10 biggest trends of 2018. And you know what I say on this video? I say I can make these predictions with total certainty. I'm not saying that they're definitely going to happen, but I can make them with total certainty. You get that? So as I tell people, I'm often wrong, but I'm never in doubt. I am living proof that confidence alone will get you through life, and it will get you through life extraordinarily well. Right? Because if you've got the confidence, you take on the challenges. And what I love about Calgary is that it's a city filled with people who are willing to take on the challenges. Let me see by show of hands, how many of you were not born in Calgary? How many of you came here to start a life? Look around you. This is a room filled with people who believe in the beauty of their dreams. You came here because you believe that the best way to predict the future is to make it happen. So you want to act with that kind of confidence, because if you act like this, it becomes contagious. How many of you have noticed that when you're on fire, you light everyone up around you? Am I right? It's like when I go into a meeting, I look around the room, and I see four kinds of people in my audience. The first kind of person I do not see here today, they are what's known as the prisoner. The prisoner looks like they don't want to be there. They look like they're forced to be there. They look at me as if to say, I hate your guts now, what have you got to say? The second kind of person is what I call the vacationer. I see a few of them here today. A vacationer is someone who doesn't want to be there, but they're happy not to be at work. The third kind of person is what I call the skeptic. The skeptic says, yeah, I'm willing to believe, but I need more proof. And then the fourth kind of person, and that's the kind of person in this room today, are what I call the students. And the students know that when they are ready, the teacher appears. So today, everyone on the stage is your teacher, but you know what? The people next to you, every one of the 5,000 people in this room are your teachers, because today you're a student. And the best way to dance with disruption is to be a student of everything and everyone. Let me give you the ultimate secret, right? So my talk here today is all about secrets. Here's the secret. All you do is take this away, other than what Tony shares with you. If you take this away, today will be a great day. The source of power is fascination. I mean, think about certain words in the English language. Have you noticed just by saying those words, you feel those feelings? So when I say the word fascinate to you, look what I've got to do with my face. Fascinate. If I say enthusiastic, if I say happy, if I say delighted, if I say thrilled, if I say electric, those are words that galvanize you not just mentally, but also physically. So you want to be fascinated, because what's the opposite of fascinated? Throw out a word. What do you think the opposite of fascinated is? This is the interactive part of the program. Who said frustrated? Very good. What's your first name? Chris. Chris, have you been to my sessions? No. Chris, come up on stage. Come up on stage. Give Chris a round of applause. Just let's make sure this works. Chris, hold that. Chris, what's your surname, Chris? Chris.
Yeah, you know, Chris Eric.
Chris who?
Eric.
Chris Eric. Chris Eric, ladies and gentlemen. Chris, so Chris, you get it. By the way, are you nervous in front of all these folks?
Actually, no.
How does it feel?
Natural.
Natural? Yeah. What do you do for a living, Chris?
I run a moving company.
You run a moving company?
Yes.
So you run a moving company. That's pretty cool, right?
I own a moving company, yes.
You own it now?
Yeah.
So you own and you run a moving company. So Chris gets it right. So Chris, you said the opposite of fascinated is frustrated. Why? And hold the mic close to your mouth.
It just seemed like the right word to fit. If you're not fascinated, I always, when somebody told me one time, said, instead of, I think it was Bob Proctor, said, instead of saying you're frustrated with somebody, say, hey, isn't that fascinating?
Yeah.
So when somebody said to me, when you're frustrated, just change your vocabulary.
Yeah.
And you will change the way you feel inside, and it will alter the way your outcome becomes.
Wow, that's fascinating. Very good. Big round of applause. And I want to give you this book.
Oh, thank you.
Nice, Chris. Pleasure. Right. So look, that's fantastic. I mean, of all the people in the room, I call up Chris, and Chris gives my talk. But Chris, why is that important? Because Chris is both intellectual, but he's also instinctive. Did you hear what he said? It just felt like the right thing to say. And I'll tell you this, you're at your best when you're fascinated. You're at your worst when you're frustrated. Because how many of you have noticed when you're frustrated, you say things that you regret forever? But when you're fascinated, you engage others in such a way that they want to come back and be with you over and over and over again. And by the way, the people that you need to be fascinated with are the people who frustrate you. Because those are the people who are stretching your love and tolerance of the human race to the max. By the way, how many of you in this room are getting way too much recognition? Who's got to turn to your boss and say, stop with all this love? Stop with all this kudos. I can't handle the appreciation. We don't get enough of that. And I don't know about you, but the longer I live this life, and when I think about what happened in 2017, the good, the bad, and the ugly, when I think of this moment specifically, all I can think about is that I am participating in a miracle right now. This is a miracle. I mean, imagine what it takes to bring 5,000 people together with one mission. And that mission is not just to be your best, but to help the community become its best, to help the province become its best, to help the country become its best, to help the world become its best. Yeah! So someone once said to me, I had a mentor who said to me, to the world, we may just be one person, but to one person, we may just be the world. I am here today because there were people in my life who stepped up for me in times of disruption, in times of crisis, and they invited me to dance. And they took me forward. And they showed me the secrets. They showed me the magic. And so I'm here today, not for the money. I'm not doing this for the money. I'm going to take your money. I have to charge you so you appreciate what you're getting. Yeah, my wife expects it. But I'm here because there's nowhere else in the world I'd rather be than encouraging you, inspiring you, catalyzing you into the next level of execution. So just turn to a person on either side of you. With all the love and affection and respect that you have within you, I want you to look at the other person in the eyes and say, wow, you fascinate me. All right. Okay, so look. I told you when I got up here today I told you when I got up here today that I would share 7 secrets to thriving on massive change so the best people want to partner with you. So let me ask you this question. How many of you in this room have never seen Mike Lipkin present before? Who's never seen me? Whoa! Everybody's never seen me. Yeah. As I tell people, not that many people know how well known I am. But let me ask you this now. Based on my first 23 minutes up here, would you come and see me again? Yay! Yay! By the way, what's your name? Chris, come up here, Chris. Chris, always love it when a guy is this enthusiastic. Chris, what do you want to tell this audience?
I love you. This is awesome.
Yay! There you go. Well done, Chris.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Pleasure. Yeah, that's what I heard about Calgary. The water has a very high caffeine content. So look, why did I ask you the question, how many of you in this room have never seen me before? Because right now I'm training you to want to see me again. So please remember this. In every meeting, we train people how to expect us to be in the next meeting. So when you're having a meeting with someone, you want to be so amazing in that meeting that they say to themselves, I want to have another meeting with this person, and then another meeting, and then another meeting. And by the way, you want to make those meetings spectacular, especially with people that you have a lot of meetings with. So let me see by show of hands, how many of you in this room are in a lifetime relationship with another human? Okay, most of you. Let me ask you this. Do you make every meeting with this man or woman spectacular? Yeah. In fact, let me ask you, did you tell this other person how much you love, adore, and admire them today? Did you tell them? Because if you didn't, maybe somebody else is. By the way, how many of you are in sales? How many salespeople here? Okay. How many of you have ever lost an account you didn't expect to lose? Why? Because in that moment, that other person thought you were taking them for granted. So you know what? Chris has got it right. Chris says, I love you. Chris, do you tell everybody that?
Mostly her.
Oh, mostly her. So just today. Oh, and then like 1,000 people once in a while. Okay. Well, tell everybody that every day. And then mean it. So, let me wrap here and give you 7 secrets. And a secret, by the way, is knowledge that is only known to a few. So because of what you get to enjoy here today, you get to share this with everyone else in Alberta and begin with everybody else in Calgary. So what's the population of Calgary? It's about 1 million, right? Okay, so there are 5,000 people here. You've got to impact 1 million people. So who's good at math? What's 1 million divided by 5,000? How much? Come on, there's got to be one person who knows. Right, every person's got to reach at least 200 people. Do you think you can do that? Of course you can. So here are the 7 secrets. Number 1, be the person who really knows. There's no substitute for this. I hope that as you listen to me speak, you can hear that I really know about motivation. I know about excitement. I know about turning people on. Can you hear it? Sorry, can you hear it? Okay. So you want to be the person who talks with a granular understanding of your domain. You know, when people really know because they've done the work, when they talk, other people listen because it's an inherent built-in authority. There's no substitute for that, and you've proven you're willing to do the work by being here today. The second secret, be an audacious dreamer. Have a dream that is so audacious that when you share it with others, they ask you what you're on. In fact, let me ask you this. How many of you have ever had a dream and you shared it with someone and they said, that'll never happen? Of course, you know why they say that? Because they're too scared to dream that. And let me give you the secret. I want you to start practicing it right here, right now. Tell as many people as possible about your dream. A dream that you do not share is a hallucination. The moment you share your dream, it starts to become real. So when I was asked or invited to participate here today, I told my colleagues at Power of Success that I wanted music, I wanted to dance in front of 5,000 people. They made it happen. If I didn't tell them that, they wouldn't have made it happen. Just letting you see behind the scenes here. That feels better. Right. How many of you have ever had one of those technical moments? Well, let me just share something with you. This wasn't planned, but it could have been. How you handle the awkward moments determines how in control of the situation you are. Can you see how in control I am? Okay. So, have an audacious dream and share it with as many people as possible. So secret number 1, be the person who really knows. Secret number 2, be an audacious dreamer. Secret number 3, be simultaneously analytical and creative. I want you to remember this phrase: details are your ingredients. Creativity is your recipe. The best of us in this room see the dots that other people do not see. And because we see the dots, we connect the dots. And because we connect the dots, we project the dots, and then we make them happen. Details are where the magic happens. And you know what amazes me is I see 2 people confronted with exactly the same details. One person gets excited, the other person panics, because one person understands that details are the pathway to ultimate success. So keep your eyes open and keep your dreams alive. Number 4, be prolific. Do a lot of stuff. You're always going to get more no's than yeses. Mr. Motivator here gets 9 no's for every yes. I love the word no. Because when I hear the word no, I know I'm just a heartbeat away from yes. And just so you know, you're looking at a man who never gets rejected. Sometimes I just meet people who temporarily cannot appreciate quality. So do a lot of stuff. Winners will always lose more than losers because they're trying more things. Here's secret number 5. Communicate like magic. Use words that turn people on. So just turn to a person on either side of you, and in the highest spirit of the word, look at the person, even if you've never met them before, and say, I love you, man. Just, I love you, man. Yeah. How do you feel when someone says those words to you? Even if you don't know them, even if they're saying it because I told them to say it, all of a sudden you've got all these endorphins running about in your brain. So use words that turn people on. Number 6, collaborate like a champion. Not just collaborate, but like a champion. Collaborating like a champion is very simple. It's a comment that I made when I started today, and that is, give people such a high return on their time that they give you more time. Champion collaborators do so much for others that others want to give them more time and resources. And so let me give you the final secret, and this is my signature trait. Be unconditionally enthusiastic. Right, no matter what happens, show up and bring your A game. So let me give you my final story, and then my time here is up. In my native South Africa, I still do a lot of work. Anyone been to Africa? Any Africans in the audience? Whoa, fantastic, a lot of you. So about 9 months ago, I'm in a place called the Kruger Park. I'm giving a talk around a campfire, and the talk went exceptionally well. And round about midnight, the game ranger, the man protecting us in case an animal came into the camp, told us to go to sleep. And then he said words I have never forgotten. He said, it's late, go to bed. But, he said, fasten the flaps of your tent securely, because when the fire goes out, the predators come in. When the fire goes out, the bogeymen, the doubts, and the anxieties come in. So whatever happens, keep your fire burning bright. Burn bright, but don't burn out, because I want to give you this final insight. Either you will be fired with enthusiasm, or you will be fired with enthusiasm. Thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure. Merci beaucoup. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's go. Thank you. Thank you.
I love you, man.
Thank you. Thanks.
Mr. Mike Lipkin, come on, Calgary, let him know. Let him know. Let's all say, I love you, man. 1, 2, 3. I love you, man. God, he's handsome, though. Did I tell you? He's handsome. He is a good-looking bald man. I've known Mike for a couple years, and he's fantastic. When I was doing the TV show, we were shooting a lot of episodes, and so I gained a little bit of weight. And so backstage, he goes, "You've lost some weight. You look fantastic." And I said, "Thank you." And he goes, "Now let's just be clear." He's like, "You're not Lipkin-esque yet, but you're getting there." Mr. Mike Lipkin, let him know, folks. Come on, awesome job.
By the way,
Wait.
just remind the folks here that incredible book, Dancing with Disruption, is available for sale, and it's available for signature at the same time. Thank you, gents.
Mr. Mike Lipkin, folks, come on, get out there. Get that book for sale. First, get it signed. You get it signed, you can sell it on eBay for like $9, folks. It's crazy. Get a signed copy, it's crazy. How you feeling, Calgary? We having fun or what? Is this not the best day? This is good stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now my pleasure to introduce our next speaker of the day. He entertains with interaction, humor, and energy. Bob has spoken to audiences in over 150 cities nationally and internationally. His message of hope helps people find success in their business and personal lives. His approach motivates people to take action today and rise to a compelling vision with a crystal clear game plan for successful living. I was talking to him backstage.